So the chords I played for you just now are actually variations of power chords, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, is how to take open chords that you're probably familiar with, like G, E, A, D, C, chords like those, and turn them into power chords just by changing the shape of your fingers a little bit or blocking some strings out. Power chords sound really nice on an electric guitar through an amp with a lot of distortion like I have right now, because power chords sound a lot cleaner than, I guess, regular chords or non-power chords. And if you know a little bit of theory, basically a power chord is a chord where you're taking the 3 out, or you're leaving the 1 and the 5. A really simple power chord shape looks just like this. We have the root note, and then we have the 5, which is 1 string over and 2 frets up. So this is a G chord, a G power chord. And if I go 2 frets up, we have an A chord, a B chord, or I can go all the way down with the open string, make it an E power chord. Nice. And so what I want to do is show you how to take the open chords and turn them into power chords. And all you do is remove the 3rd note out of the chords. So real quick, I'll show you the E chord here. This is the shape that you're probably familiar with, and I'll play this for you. So this is a regular open E chord, and the offending note is the 3 that is on the third string here on the 1st fret. So it's this note. And if I just show you what it sounds like with the 1 and the 3 together, it sounds pretty dissonant, kind of rough around the edges. If I turn that 3 into a 5, so it's a power chord right here, you can hear the difference. Sounds a lot smoother than this 1 and 3. But anyway, let me get to it and show you how the chord looks. So you take the regular E shape, just pull your 1st finger off of the 3rd string there, and then what I do is I take kind of the meat of my ring finger here and block out a 3rd string. So I can pluck it, but it doesn't really ring, or it doesn't come out. And then I can strum the whole chord. And it sounds a lot better. And that's a power chord. All you're doing is leaving the chord with only 1 and 5 notes. So here's another example with the G chord. You might be used to a G chord that sounds something like this. Again, that sounds really busy because we have 2 notes in here that are actually thirds. It's this note here on the 5th string, and then the 2nd string open. It's another 3rd. So we're going to chop those both out. What I do with this, with the 5th string, is I block it out with my middle finger. And then with the 2nd string, instead of blocking it, I actually replace the 3 with a 5 by adding my ring finger right on top of the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And let's play that. And it sounds more pleasing than the regular G. So if you can kind of go through all the chords and just pull out all the 3s, then you end up turning them all into power chords. They sound a lot nicer. So a D, that's with the 3rd in there, and if I remove the 3rd, it rings a lot nicer. Or I can actually add, instead of a 3rd, I'll just turn it into a 5th by adding my pinky on the 5th fret here. And that sounds really nice too. One other tip I have to add is if you want to add a little more flavor to your chords, and instead of having only 1 and 5 in there, you can add the 2 or the 4, and they'll actually sound just as nice. The 4 makes it into a suspended chord, so you might not be able to use that all the time, but at least you can use the 2 more of the time, and it sounds pretty good. So one example would be the G chord again. I'll take our power G, open power G, or whatever you want to call it. And the way I'll add a 4, or add a 2 for this chord, is I'll take my pointing finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, so I get this note blended in. That's the 2, and I'll play that for you. Another example, this is not the open chord, but just to illustrate it, is I can play this power chord, another G power chord that I showed you earlier, but then I'll just add my pinky on the 7th fret here on the 4th string. And that sounds pretty nice. So if you can add the 2s to your chords, then you know, that's another nice option you have when you're trying to come up with nice chords to go with a song. And then if you want to add the 4 instead, in this case it just ends up being a G suspended. That's like this. And that sounds really nice too, but then again, just depends on the case if it sounds good with what's going on in the song. And that's how you turn open chords into power chords.